When it play, do it really show us bopping our head?
Yeah. You don't ever go back and play the lives. We didn't already start the show, and you up here talking about some Real Life is Friends podcast episode number 25. One of your hosts, Kimberly.
You already know me. Mila.
Now you know we was recording. How you gonna
Well,
just
I
be
knew
like,
he was recording.
do you not go back and play it? Apparently
Sometime,
not.
but not all
Apparently
the
not.
time.
Apparently not. Apparently never.
It's something
This
about
is the
hearing you say,
last Tuesday in May.
is
We're
it?
on episode number 25 of Real Life is Friends podcast. We have a lot of very exciting things that we need to talk about that we're going to talk about today. But first, it's Mila with her question of the week, or the
Mm.
episode, I guess I should say.
My question is, do you act one way in at work? And let me say this, I guess, um, should the way you act outside of work, and if someone sees you outside of the work element, do you think they would think differently of you? Or they'll be like, that's Jamila. Or that's Kimberly.
I think people I currently work with, I don't. Well, one person obviously knows me a little bit more than the other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that everybody else, yeah, they'll probably be very shocked. But I'm not too different from how I am at work. I just don't say as much as work at work. But I'm not. I'm really not that. I'm really not that much different. You see what I'm saying? For as
Right.
far as when you see me out in public, like I'm not gonna be out in public, get into bar fights or something like that. Like that's just not who I am. So I'm probably gonna 9 times out of 10 ignore people because that's just what I do in my day to day life. Hey, uncle and auntie.
Hey there, Uncle Auntie.
But yeah, I think in my regular, th- I do act different, but I don't think it's gonna be as much of a shock to people.
Okay.
What about you?
I think people will be like, that's Jamila. At work, outside of work, they'll think differently. They wouldn't think differently. They'll be like, oh, that's
Okay.
her. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. Because I'm the same. I mean, and the reason I asked that because there was I saw a coworker out. I saw a person that I work with outside of work,
Okay.
trying to, and then at work they was like snooty, you know. Mm, mm, mm. But then outside they was with the shits. You see what I'm saying? So it was totally two
Mm,
different people, you know. So I was like, no, you ain't what I seen at the place we work. This
yeah.
is different, you know. So I just wondered, you know,
No, I think
do people
cause like I
get
was
two
just telling
different parts of you?
my mama, like in real life, I'm different, but I don't think I'm that different. Um, I was telling my mama
Mm.
just today, I was like, in real life, I'm a procrastinator, but in work life, I told someone today I would have something by close of business, and I had it before 1 o'clock. Like,
Oh,
like my work life. in certain aspects is very, very different from, I guess, because I have the expectation, and then I can just at home I can just do whatever I want to do. And so yeah.
I would say I think even if people was to see me, like my friends, of course, friends and family know me. I'm gonna be
Mhm.
loud. I'm gonna joke. I'm gonna cut up with you. But I think at work is to, of course, a certain degree. I'm still gonna be me, but you're not gonna get the full fledged Jamila show.
So think about this, like, because we used to work together. Do you think
Right.
I'm different from work?
Oh hell no. You still got the same old attitude and carrying on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I'm like, it's not much. It's a difference. Don't get me wrong. I understand that it's a
Right.
difference, but I don't think for it's me is that much of a difference. But it's definitely a difference.
I think it's a difference as what you will know about me outside of work. You know,
Okay.
as far as how much I'm gonna let you into my personal space.
Yeah.
I guess if that makes sense, I'm gonna keep it honest with you, and I'm gonna always joke and laugh. But I think as far you really like, there's levels to you really getting to know me. But nobody would definitely say, "Oh, she's fake, she's phony." No,
Yeah. I don't
nobody
know.
would say
They.
that.
I don't think nobody would say that about me either. I don't think
No,
nobody would say that about you, and I don't think nobody would say that about me either.
yeah.
Because baby, ooh, you ain't gonna say that about me. Because
If I wouldn't eating
one
potlucks
thing,
at the job,
one thing
this
I
is the
know
thing. If
about me, one thing I know about me for certain is that if I don't like you, you gonna know I don't like you.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair for both of us.
You and I tell people that in my regular life as well. You don't have to be, you will never be shocked and figure out, you're never going to be one of those people like, oh my goodness, I wonder how Kim feels about me. No, you going to know how I feel. If you don't look at the expression on my face, if you don't hear me like the words that I say to you, you are going to know if I like you or not. There's not going to be any doubt in your mind whether or not I like you or not, because baby, I pay you in dust if I don't like you.
I have to. It's like what I was remember. It was a bad day at work one day, and we had went to this meeting, and my coworker he was like, "Fix your face." He was like, "Everything you showing just how you feel at the moment on your face." And my mama would always tell me that, "Fix your face, Jamila. Fix your face." So, I mean, that's just me. And if I
Not
feel
me.
this, huh?
One of the comments.
What did it say?
Just mean. I'm not mean. And Clarissa said that she the same. She just can't cuss at work.
Exactly. So I will cuss. I mean, I don't cuss folks out at work, so to say, but I have learned. I've said a few choice words,
Mm.
and it does not even matter what degree you happen to have, uh, or your position. I'm gonna tell you,
Hey sister. Hey little mama. If you come
hey,
together.
mama.
I mean Tamia.
So I think that there's no need to ever wonder how I feel at work or outside of work. Cause I'm going if I'm disgusted, my face gonna say disgusted.
Well, I remember she said she wear her emotions on her face too. Let me just
Mm-hmm.
say this. When I know there's a conversation and I'm not supposed to react, and I know there's a conversation going on like at work, baby, do not look at me. I tell people all the time, do not look at me. Do not look at me. Do not look at me. Whatever you do to save yourself, do not look at me. But I had to also try to be, I've tried to like, um like disguise my face or just think of something totally different, I'll be like, ooh, I went to the park. I went to the park.
I went to the party.
I went to the park. And like I have to literally say things like that so my face does not change anything, because otherwise my face will be like, I went to the park. I've been walking. I went to the
No,
park. So
I'm not
therefore people
thinking.
thinking like
Mm-mm.
people are not knowing what I am thinking, because
No,
otherwise my face tells it.
no, you're going to know at this big age I am now. It's time for you to know how I'm feeling. So if I'm not feeling what's the energy or the shift in the conversation or whatever, I'm looking at you sideways. I'm sorry. I'm
Mm,
I, I'm just saying. So I think what you see is what you get
okay.
at work or outside of work.
So this week,
Mm.
or this episode, I guess I should say, we watched a show called Forever. It was on Netflix. I was like, because for some reason I feel like it has more words than forever. Maybe
No,
was it anyway?
just
We
straight forever.
we
That's it.
watched Forever. It was on Netflix. I think it was like 8 episodes.
Yeah.
And before I go in the direction that I want to go, I want you to say how you feel before I go in the direction, in case you don't go in that direction. So go ahead, go first. We gonna veer off. I know we about to veer off.
Well, I mean, I would say this. I love the series. I really did. There's a reason I don't watch those kind of series during the week because they make me too emotional. I feel like I get caught up in it and then my mind starts to go back, and I'm feeling too emotional. But it did kind of make you think of like teenage years and teenage loves and all of that. And then I guess too, and I have to think of it like this is during the social media time because during my
Mm-hmm.
time of growing up, there was no, social media. So it was good. Wasn't I didn't think anything bad. I think the parents were typical parents. Especially for Keisha. Hardworking single mother, wanting what's best for her daughter, you know, get out the hood, be better. And then I think as far as what was his name? Justin,
Mm-hmm.
his mom and dad, the mom was a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Extra bougie or
Okay.
whatever, and had this image that she had of her son and what she wanted him to do. Meanwhile, the dad is like, hey, figure out life. This is my suggestion, and live it. I think the mother, I think as far as she goes, and I guess her parenting style goes, he's a young black male,
Yeah.
and she's trying to protect him from the big bad world that we live in, and and I'd say she's trying to protect him in all areas, not wanting him to be with a white girl, not wanting him to drive, not this, not so. I thought it was life lessons that could be used for everybody, but I liked it. Now, did I necessarily? Keisha wasn't my favorite because I just saw her as the little fast ass girl on Greenleaf.
Oh, I never watched that.
You didn't watch Greenleaf? She was
Mm-mm.
the little daughter, one of the son daughter. So she was fast on there. But I liked it. Now, I know, Katana, baby, you done wrote all kind of notes like you was at a church service.
No, baby, I was acting like I was in Bible study trying to study the word, baby.
So tell me your way, what you're thinking of it.
Okay, so I have a lot of thoughts, and I'm actually pretty happy that some of my thoughts reflect us. to be honest.
Okay.
I know everybody else is seeing this as a love story, but I don't see this as a love story necessarily.
No, I
I
just saw it
but a
as a
lot of
coming of
people
age.
but a lot of people saw it like as a love story and all this stuff. Now, what
Mm,
college did you attend?
Alabama A&M.
Okay. I attended Huntington and I also attended Troy.
Mm-hmm.
Those are PWIs. You attended the HBCU. One
Mm-hmm.
of the things that kept coming up in these people conversation is his mother wanted him to go to Northwestern, and she was fighting to go to a HBCU, Howard in general. And people were trying to shift her to go to an Ivy League or a more PWI, but she stayed on the course of no, I want to go to Howard.
And she
I
ran
want,
track. So let's
yes,
say that
yes,
she ran track.
yes. So to me, this was, I think, a fight that a lot of black people
Mm,
go through. Wanting to either attend a HBCU because you want to see people like you want to see the, like I said, you want to be in a group of people similar, and then other people. Not saying that this is true for everybody, not saying this
right.
is all, but in the case of his mother, she wanted him to walk the footsteps that she walked through.
Mm-hmm.
She went to a PWI, therefore she doesn't want to hear about no Howard. She doesn't want to hear about any school that is not Northwestern or another PWI that she feels as though is the equivalent of Northwestern. But
Right.
let's be honest, she wasn't really caring about none of those other schools at all.
And honestly, I don't even know if he really got to choose where he wanted to go to school, because I just feel like Northwestern was always just embedded in his brain, like
Exactly.
was where he was going.
And something else, because he said that you basically, not to quote him completely, but he basically was like, you don't want me to talk to a black girl. I mean, you don't want me
Mm,
to talk to a white girl, but these are the only people you're putting me by.
mm.
And then
Because
he
she had
said,
a little change of thought when baby girl name was Keisha. And he was like, "You don't know no white girl's named Keisha."
okay, she got happy then because she always wanted him with a black girl. But
Mm-hmm.
like he told her, you have put me in these positions that I'm not even near a black girl.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the time he's one of one, baby. He's one of one.
True.
So it reminded me of me watching Salt Lake City.
Mm.
And one of the things Mary said, because Mary is the only cast member on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City that is black. And her son is also, black as well. I
Mm-hmm.
just feel like I needed to point that out. Not biracial, he is black. Um, Not saying that biracial can't be black. I'm just saying his mom and daddy black. That's all I'm trying to say.
Gotcha.
And she said that she didn't realize that how what she wanted him to have was one of the things that was more detrimental to him, basically,
Mm.
because here she is putting him in these places and failing to put him near anyone that is really black. So he's gone his whole life being like basically like one of one.
Right.
And for him, that was too overwhelming because no one understands you. No one gets you because of
Right.
the fact that you all don't share the same skin color.
Mm-hmm.
She said two of my girls wanted to go to HBCU where they went to PWIs.
Mm.
Baby, I ain't gonna say her name, but I'm surprised one of your daughters went to HBCU. You already know I said that. So that shocked me because she may be listening. You may be listening, but I'm just saying that shocked me because yeah. But I feel like um to me, I felt like it was more of a battle of how to not necessarily how to be black, but what
Mm.
is black acceptable, I guess.
Mm. Mm. And if you go to an HBCU versus
No,
a
just
PWI,
yeah,
just in
like
okay.
yeah. So and both people are black, clearly.
Hmm.
Like it's no question about it. But there is a lot of times there is a lot of debate of people that go to PWI think this, people that go to HBCUs think this. And I'm like, I have been around enough people that go to HBCUs, and I am also been around enough people that go to PWIs, and none of this stuff that people out here on social media be saying, that stuff is not true. Most people do not care.
But I think, and that's true. I think some don't care, but I think also too is it. I think when you go, and I have a matter of fact, I think all my other siblings they went to PWIs.
Oh yeah.
So I'm the only one that went to HBCU. I just think you get from each experience. I mean, each college, what you get out of it. I think I knew who I was somewhat as a person in going to college, but
Okay.
college, you kind of you grow. You become an adult because now you don't have anybody. Now I will say at the good HBCU, it taught me how to deal with us, and that is African Americans and
Hmm.
how we operate. That it has definitely taught me that. But I would say my corporate experience taught me how to deal with the Caucasian folks. So I think, and but you also too, you just learn a lot of stuff. And I think it doesn't matter what college you go to. If you don't know who you are before you get to college, then yeah, college is going to help you figure out a whole lot of stuff. It can help you figure out if you want to be in a cult or if you just
Oh
want to
my
be with
goodness.
friends.
You want to be in a cult. You want to be in a cult so
But
bad.
but I think you can take away your experience from both because I think too, even if you was at a PWI, I guarantee you're gonna be drawn to the black kids at the school because all of y'all feel like okay, it ain't but 10 of us. Let's
But see, that's also the thing. There are some people that do gravitate to that, and then there's others that shun that and want to be so far away from that because unfortunately some people don't want to be in black spaces, and some people don't feel comfortable in black spaces. Even as a black person, some people don't feel comfortable in black spaces.
some
Now
of them
I
feel comfortable with being with the white folks, and that's perfectly
yeah.
fine. If you feel comfortable being with them, and that is your village, so be it. Uh, but also too, I think if you are at a PWI, you will find again people that kind of look more like you, or people that you can identify with. It just college helps you to develop who you are. But I think with the young man Justin in Forever, he did not. He wasn't given the opportunity to figure out what he wanted to do. I think growing up, I
plus
think
plus
his
he
mama.
never I'm sorry. Plus he was never really, other than, a couple of the other black students that were there,
Mhm.
he was never surrounded by black people like Keisha was. Like
Right.
where Keisha lived at, it was surrounded by black people. She had her
Hmm.
family, she had she had the cousins
Right.
that did hair, so she was surrounded, by black people
Hmm.
that way. And Justin just was void of any kind of normal or typical, I won't say normal, typical black experiences that most people would have experienced as a
Hmm.
teenager. Um and
He went to, but think about it. Even his mom's friends' kids were, extra bougie. They went to the vineyard. They went to Martha's Vineyard for vacation. Meanwhile, baby girl them going good, baby, to go cross state lines or whatever. But she
yeah,
was fine with it. She just knew that she wanted something different.
Yeah.
and she wanted to experience something different outside of where she grew up at. Con-
Hmm.
Now, considering, even what she went through to move schools,
Yeah.
she still knew that she wanted to go to Howard. She still knew that she wanted to run track. And she
Yeah.
still knew that she wanted to experience college you know, without a boo thing. That's why I said I don't think it was necessarily a love story. I think it was more of a story of building a friendship that will last forever. You see what I'm saying? Whether they're together or not, I think it will still be. They know they are each other's person
Yeah.
that they can really depend on.
And I think also with him, because unfortunately or fortunately, I guess, because he was not around black people as much,
Mm,
he was able to listen to Keisha and accept her past. Because even his
true.
friend was trying to clown him, like, why are you trying to talk to her? Do you not know XYZ that had
Right.
happened? And he really didn't care, because I think that sometimes being in different spaces, because keep in mind, since I went to college, not prior to college, because I went to an all black high school. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
graduated with nobody that wasn't black. Everybody was black. Then I went to a PWI, and since I went to a PWI, my first friend ever was white.
Mm,
So ever since college, I've always had a diverse group of friends. Um, but I think for him and for a lot of people in that kind of situation, you do gravitate to, like I said, in which he did, he did definitely
mm-hmm.
gravitate to the other, black student and all that stuff. Um, but I also feel like I think his I think had he been in, even if he did go to private school, but I think that it was, if it was more black people, I don't know how accepting he would have been of Keisha, because he probably would have had that
I get
fear
that.
of, like, they're gonna look at me different if, XYZ. Meanwhile, he doesn't care. I also thought it was definitely different that he also had a learning disability. He
Yeah.
had
What
like
was it? Look.
ADHD. He had
Yeah.
ADHD or whatever, or
He
something
had
else.
something. He
Yeah.
had something. It was.
Because I know they gave him extra time on the tests,
Yeah.
and all of this stuff, and he was, really struggling. And then you also have Keisha, and this is also showing people think that because you come from where you come from, which is not the upper echelon and all this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that you're dumb. And
Mm-hmm.
Keisha was way smarter than Justin.
Yeah.
Like, straight A student, helped him with his essays for college. So to me,
She
I
was a
think,
smart cookie. Yeah, she was
yeah.
a smart cookie. But I think the reason they probably connected,
Hmm.
or I would say, I think he was the voice of reason. Again, like you say, he didn't interact, I guess, with a lot of black people. But I also think too, she was a different voice outside of the parents,
Yeah.
outside of his male friend or whatever. He was able to, again, to block out the noise or whatever and just kind of focus on her, because she really was helpful. But it
Oh,
just
yes.
goes to show too how women, we just nurture and we just want to make sure we're there for you and helping you and all of that. But even what she was going through, because even what she was going through with the issues with the boy, prior to Justin, and not really wanting to tell her mom and not really want to hurt her mom feelings. It was a lot of stuff. Uh, and again, we always hide stuff, I think, to make
Yeah.
others happy.
Yeah.
Um,
Cause she
And
pissed me off.
again, huh?
Cause she pissed me off.
The mama.
Keisha.
Keisha pissed me off quite a few times, but I kind of was getting where Keisha was coming from a little
Oh
bit.
yeah, I definitely understood.
I get it, again, she just wants to make everybody happy, but I think too, her going to Howard is her way of escaping, making sure that everybody is happy and taken care of. And now she can focus on what it is that she
Yeah,
wants to do in
yeah.
her life. Because even when he was like, I could come to Howard, she was like,
Well, but that was because of her daddy. That daddy, I didn't like him either.
oh,
I
well, he used to Johnny late.
exactly. My thing with Keisha is this. She knew her mother was struggling to help pay for this because she basically lied to her mother about the reason
Right.
she wanted to leave. She was on a full scholarship at this private school. Now her mother is struggling to pay rent and all her bills just to keep her into a private
That's school.
school. And
Mm-hmm.
then with the whole situation of Christian, and don't get me wrong, I understand them. There are some conversations you do not want to have with your mama. I
And it's fact.
completely can get that. But at the same time, if she knew that she was struggling and she knew what was going on, I felt like, and people may be like, well, she was a kid. Yes, but this girl was smart. This was not no dummy. This girl had street sense, book sense. She had the senses,
Yeah.
all of them. So I felt like, especially when her mama bought the prom dress, she should
Mm-hmm.
have just said, "Mom, take the dress back. Worry about paying rent and my tuition. Don't worry about this prom." Especially considering the fact that she does not like Christian anyway.
She didn't, but I think the only reason why she was like, she didn't want to disappoint her mom. She was like, her mama, and you think back, mama was with the boy that was popular, that was supposed to star athlete, yada, 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 yada. So the mama was really just kind of living through her with the boyfriend that she had, and he was going pro and he was going to do this, X, Y, Z.
Yeah,
So
because
I think she,
the whole family was like, "Oh, you gonna get him, and he gonna go pro, and y'all gonna get together." And it's like they was really already counting this man money because she and I'm like, this guy is in high school. What are y'all talking about? Like, because at first I thought, oh, this guy is going to the pros. Like he may be a little bit older than her, and he going
right.
to the pros. Baby, he's going to college. What are you talking about? Like,
But it was like, she did not want to, disappoint, I guess break her mama dream or whatever. So and not even really telling her mama what really popped off at school. So
yeah.
again, I think her way of saying I'm going to Howard is my way of figuring out who I want to be in life. Meanwhile, brother Justin want to make beats, do bop bop bop, and he was good at it. So solo hit a little track or whatever. So it will be interesting to see season 2
Yeah. Yes.
because I think going to college is going to definitely change Keisha for the better.
I think it's gonna change. I I think Keisha is pretty grounded. I think, like
Yeah.
I said, I think a well-rounded individual is Keisha. She's a
Oh yeah.
lot more well-rounded, especially than Justin. So I think that she's gonna do good regardless. Um,
Shout out to
now,
Keisha's friend, the white girl. You know
okay,
what?
she a real one.
She a real one. Cause baby, when the white girl said, "We are here," you trying to go here where the black folks are. It's gonna take you 3 buses and a bicycle ride.
Now, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. So, obviously, like I said, like we discussed earlier, the mama was excited about him dating Keisha until basically until Keisha went to prom with Christian. And she
Right.
said that broke her baby heart and she didn't want nothing to do with him. So even when Keisha never been to Martha's Vineyard, decided to convince her friend that they need to go to Martha's Vineyard.
And the fact that
And
the
taking
friend
them
had
buses and them bikes for her to go search Oak Bluff to go find this man.
she did. Shut again.
The mama
Shout out.
seen it. The mama seen it and was like, don't tell him that we saw her, that she's here. First of all, that mama made me mad. Let me
She
just also
did.
say, I think she pissed me off more than Keisha mama. Justin mama,
Oh, thanks.
Justin mama pissed me off way more than Keisha mama. But it brings me to this. Do you think your mother, once she found out what happened, do you think your mother would have acted the same way Justin mama did and being like, I'm gonna call this lady and let her know what's going on if you don't?
My mama probably. My mom would, knowing the mama that I had, she probably would just kind of wait and see if, you know, I can kind of convince, you to go tell. Now, would my grandmama have called? Baby, she'd have called and told it quick, fast, and in a hurry.
She wouldn't have gave her them 42, 42, I mean 72 hours or
Nope.
whatever.
Nope.
She would have
Mm-mm,
gave her a
mm-mm.
weekend.
Baby, Cobra would have got on that phone line, baby, and called as soon as she found out. My mama Deborah, on the other hand, I think she might have would have gave at least a few days
My mom would have
before
been
she.
minding her business. She would not have said nothing. I know my mama. I know her mama. She would not have said anything to that mama.
I don't know, because it was if it was well, and I think too we got to add this into consideration. It would be how close of a friend are they?
I
You
see
see
what
what
you
I'm
mean.
saying?
Yeah.
If they had been in contact, even though the kids were moving on to different schools, yada yada yada, and they were still in contact, then yeah, I can kind of see them saying, "Look now, baby girl, the streets is talking XYZ." I don't know, but my grandma baby would have called as soon as she found out.
You know something else that like about this movie though, but no, I just want to say again, my mama would have mind her business. She wouldn't have said anything to nobody. She would be like, I'm not
Would she have asked later on? Does she know?
absolutely not. My mama don't like. My mama don't like none of it. None of it. None of it. Also, something about it, this movie, and that I saw is that homeboy Justin, his athletic ability,
Baby, wouldn't the best.
no.
He's giving he's giving junior varsity
Okay.
on the varsity team, and the only way he got decided to take matters into his own hand and become. You remember on that episode of the Cosby Show when Rudy was playing football or flag
Oh yeah,
football
yeah.
or something,
Yes.
and everybody was what were they calling her? Oh, I can't think of it. Whatever name they were calling her. So they was just like, baby, they was screaming like he had won a gold medal. He just scored 30 points in the whole season. You see what I'm saying? So he was not the star athlete that they wanted him to be.
But outside of his uncle, they talked him up a very good game and made him appear that like your coach is just doing you wrong, which could definitely be
The gay
possible.
uncle at the vineyard.
But the way he said, "You're never gonna make it to the NBA," and he was like, "Nobody else will tell you that, but you're never gonna make it to the NBA."
And I respect Uncle.
I do too,
That's just like
because why is nobody like? This is also my thing. If you know that this coach is not doing this, because at this point it was like their junior year. Why
Yeah.
were you not sending this child somewhere where the coach would at least let him play if you think he has hopes of going to the NBA?
Let me tell you something. Little brother was playing better than him, and he was what was he? Baseball.
Baseball. Like, I just feel like he has so many advantages,
Uh-huh.
especially as compared to Keisha,
Right.
and everything came natural to Keisha.
Exactly.
Everything, sports came natural to her, grades came
I
natural
agree.
to her, everything came natural to her, and everything was a struggle for him, but he was given all the tools and resources and things of that nature to basically catch up to what, not even what Keisha is like, but what a typical student would be,
I
I guess,
agree.
like at their school. So
Yeah.
that to me was very wild because everybody knew Keisha had talent.
Oh, everybody knew her.
Nobody knew Justin had talent but his mom and his daddy, because I don't think their little brother thought anything of it either.
I think little brother said, "You did all this, and I wasn't at the game." Like, so, but again, it goes to show that probably if you go to one of those private schools and you give a lot of money or whatever the case may be, your child is placed somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he don't necessarily have to be the most. He wouldn't have started. He wasn't Christian. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And he
Like, he
wasn't
wasn't a
Christian.
star athlete. He wasn't, but if you listen to his family, the way they like, don't get me wrong, both families were encouraging. Both both families were encouraging.
True.
They were just encouraging differently. Like, at least other people also were encouraging to Keisha. Nobody else was encouraging to Justin because,
Nobody but his mama. Daddy, Daddy was there a little bit. Daddy was more of real life.
oh yes,
Uh,
because that mama was
Baby, the mama was with her Chardonnay and her good glasses on and her good computer, you know, trying to get Justin on over there in the North. Justin couldn't even talk at the mixer for Northwestern because his mama was butting in.
exactly. Now I
Don't you
will
know what his major was?
Now I will say this. The father, well, he didn't really, I like the father. I like
I
Justin's
did too.
father. But I was nervous when the police got behind him. I said, baby, this lady is not about to let this boy go nowhere unless it's during the daylight times, and you gonna have to be on your phone the whole time. Cause
I got nervous. I was
mama,
like,
baby, cause I said this mama gonna lose her whole everlasting mind, and she is about to get a divorce from her husband because her husband said you can go and check on this girl.
I got nervous. And that's, give it out to the daddy. The daddy was a solid stand up dude. Loved him. And I could tell daddy probably didn't do college, but he knew how to cook. Maybe did a little culinary school.
Yeah,
And he was, build his business up that way, his brand. So daddy was a solid. I liked him.
yeah,
I like
I did
daddy.
too.
I
Now
like daddy.
let me tell you what also was what I noticed in the story as well. Keisha was talking about her granddaddy and how he chose baseball over college.
Mm,
And that decision, because he stayed in the minor leagues, prompted her father to go to college. But then the coach changed, and then they didn't really play him like they should have. So both of them went down two different paths,
perhaps.
and neither one of them were able to get to their goal.
And you know what? Not like granddaddy, because baby, granddaddy at that college graduation had me in tears.
High school.
High
Yeah.
school graduation. He had me in tears. And even the daddy. Cause did the daddy eventually move into the house?
Girl, I said, he just gonna show up and be like, I'm at the house now. I'm so confused about
I
life
was,
right now at this
I
moment.
was like, why is he? Look like he living. He posted up on the couch. Baby girl just got her a good job at the hospital. Her homegirl hooked her up with.
Okay.
Working third
And now all of a sudden he back in the picture.
with his camera. Boy, going on somewhere. But again, some daddies come late to the show.
Yeah.
So, but I did like the relationship though that Keisha and her daddy had. So I did like that. And overall, I think it was positive. It was a positive show. Um, so it's gonna be good to see what direction they go in for season two.
Yeah, I really truly enjoyed it. If you all have not watched it, it is forever on Netflix. It's about um
I think it's 8 episodes,
episodes. Yeah, and they're somewhere around 30 some to 40 some
30,
minutes.
40 minutes.
Yeah. I truly, like I said, I truly enjoyed it. If you picked up on some of the things that I picked up on or didn't pick up on or Jamila picked up on, just let us know. Just let us
And
know.
the director, it's a Judy Bloom book, and the lady that directed Girlfriends directed
Mara Brock O'Keel, is that her
or
name?
something. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
So it kind of, and I think she's done quite a few other
She also
shows.
she did the game as well, I believe, because that's a
She
spinoff
did.
of
Yeah,
it.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
forgot about the good old game.
Yeah.
And also too, she there was another show. Was it This Is Love or something that was
Hmm.
on or something? I think she did that. But I mean, real good. Again, I don't think it's a love story,
I don't either.
so to say. I think it's just more of coming of age.
And
You're great.
I can agree with that. I think it's a
Yeah,
coming of age story, but like I said, it just has that
got a
black
little love in
element,
it.
the
Yeah.
black element of, the private schools, HBCUs, PWIs, like it has a whole bunch of stuff, not trying to disappoint your parents, but
Hmm.
still wanting to have your own life and walk your own path. But yeah,
And
but
and also too having a good support system. Let's
oh
let's
yeah,
say that because
having a
again,
village. Yeah.
having a village, because sometimes your support is not. It doesn't necessarily always have to be family. It can be friends that have become family, and so I really like that. I really, like I said, now I was digging mom and dad little crew down there in the Hamptons. I was loving that, but I was also loving too Keisha folks. So it was a
Yeah.
good, nice balance again in how your village shows up for you and are there for you when you need it. So
We forgot to mention one thing. Apparently, Justin just wants to do beats. Nobody ever asked this boy what he wants to do in college. The only thing she knows is that, and then she interrupted, and she was like, "Well, he's just trying to figure things out." No, he knows what he wants to do. You just don't
no,
know.
and she shot. And let me tell you something. The reason the mama was, kind of worked my nerve, even when he was playing one of the beats, and there was a voice or something in the back. You copyright? Did you do this? Did you listen to the damn song and tell your son he doing good, ma'am? We'll cross copyright issues when we get there. He already on the old school Mac laptop with the colors on the top, looking like a gateway laptop.
Nice.
Made me made me mad around him.
Do they still make gateways?
I know.
Oh, okay.
I don't think.
Mhm.
Hmm. But yeah, she made me mad. But again, very good. I would probably expect the new season of probably. I bet you it'll come out probably by the end of the year.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I did too.
If you have any suggestions for us to watch, places for us to go, drinks you want us to try, don't forget to hit us up at 615-475-8152. And also reallifeishfriends at gmail.com. And don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to our YouTube page. Real Life Friends podcast. Also, I want to say that I haven't got the t-shirt that the other person requested. One person already gave me their request for the t-shirt. So I'm hoping to get the other requests so I can go ahead and get those sent out, because we are women of our words. If we say we're gonna do something, it's gonna be done. So just want to say all that. But
Mm.
now, when you change your life to develop a relationship with the good Lord and Savior,
Mm.
a lot of things supposed to change. Mostly your heart, your mind, your spirit, and your outfit needs to change, because regardless of what people say, because people always say, come as you are. No, come as you are as a sinner, not come as you are as a person that does not have on real clothes. I, and if you don't know who I'm talking about none other than BSimone, that decided to have, I don't know what it was it like, because only saw women, so I don't know if she was preaching to women, praying to women, or some kind of women's conference. I don't know what it actually really was, but her coat was longer than her shorts. In fact, I
I
didn't see
think
her
I
shorts.
think what is marketed as women empowerment, how they, when all this fails and you've tried everything it is to try, you just skedaddle on over there into the realm of the Jesus, and baby, you you say you a good few positive words, you say you a good few tickets, and you go in there prophesizing, baby, to the people, and you running around them with leggings and a sport coat on, a sport coat,
And I
or
didn't even see the shorts. I'm sorry, I couldn't even see the shorts.
and again, I'm all for, they say come as you are. Again, that can be with your sins. And it can also mean too, everybody doesn't necessarily have church attire, because church attire has changed drastically in the last few decades.
She has worn more clothes on Wild and Out than she did at that whatever it was she was attending. Now, let me tell you about this, cuz like, I'm a Christian. I be trying to be closer to the good Lord my own self. And I know I stumble. I sometimes stumble.
Glory, we all do.
We're all human. We all sin and fall short of the glory of the good Lord, and we all that good stuff. But
Hmm.
let me tell you what pissed me off about B Simone in this particular situation. This girl decided to not deal with any of her friends. Now, mind you, one of her friends is very much a Christian, very much about that life. The one that she was Megan, that she was doing the podcast with,
Hmm.
good old Christian girl.
Real good
She's
girl.
not even friends with her anymore.
Now,
She
why
said
is that?
she done pushed all the friends to the side and said the friends, they would pressure her into drinking. Now hold on. She said they probably would pressure her into drinking, because apparently nobody ever, like, she just naturally assumed certain things about her friends. And the thing about it is that her relationship with the good Lord could have also helped her friends have a better relationship with the good Lord. Because there's plenty of people I went to church with, like, far as my friends are concerned, there's plenty of people I went to church with. So I feel like that just because you are changing over your life, that doesn't mean you got to get rid of everybody that was in your life, because who's to say that could be their gateway to being able to get closer to the Lord.
Wasn't she friends with what's his name? DC Young Fly?
Yeah,
Uh
his child's mother,
children?
his children's
Yeah.
mother. Yeah,
Okay.
Jackie O.
Yeah. Okay. So she has cut all the other friends loose. Cause I think all of them was like in the same group, clique, or whatever. So she's not friends with none of them anymore.
Yeah, I think she got all new friends. And like I said,
See,
one of the friends was like one of the friends. I don't really know about the other ones because that much because she wasn't on a podcast with them. But girl, Megan, that she was on the podcast, like even on that podcast, because BSimone was talking about having an abortion and all that stuff, and like Megan was kind of like a little judgy, but Christian judgy. Um, and I'm like, if you really wanted to, like, not saying good or bad, I'm just saying, like, if you really wanted to be about their life for real and really want to be about their life, then even though Miss Judgy, at least she know the word. At least she is the same. She's at the. I would think that she's at the level that you're trying to be at with your walk in faith.
but it also too, her other friend that she did the podcast with could have been on her journey to the faith a little bit longer than B
Mhm.
Simone. And
Yeah,
the thing,
she definitely
but this
was.
and this is the problem that I have um, with uh, with some Christians is that they forget that they have do wop bop bop thought they was thoughting bopping in them streets. They was popping on a handstand. They forgot they was doing all of this stuff. Cause see, there was a lot of things, and none of us are perfect, and everybody has a past.
Absolutely not.
But but this is the thing: when we know what you were famous for,
Yeah.
and it can be for the skits, it can be for being on Wild and Out, can be on all of that stuff, and suddenly now you have decided now that you're going to do women empowerment because clearly it shows that any and everybody can do women empowerment. All you need, and because I go back to this, and I'm sorry, I will always be quote a cult at any point because that's what it is. Because you really, all you have to do is just like people get in cults or they join certain religions. They're looking for something to make them feel better at that moment. And if you're preaching to a lot of women who have self esteem issues, feel like they can't do XYZ. Think about when we was watching Scam Goddess.
Okay.
And you remember on that episode of uh the preacher, the bling pastor.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Remember that lady said on there, she said, that man, there's a lot of women that love prayer calls. They like to be it's something about a prayer call. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's maybe because you can't nobody really see you or you can feel that somebody is speaking to you or whatever the case may be. And I feel when all else fails, people turn to religion because they know that religion is going to reel folks in. It's gonna reel them in. My thing also too is that if you want to be holy and sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost, don't forget those that you was dotting and bopping with in the streets,
Because
and
maybe
that
they
you was,
want to change their life too.
they could possibly want to change too. You could possibly show them the way to change their life, or maybe y'all can be on that journey together. But you just ain't gonna leave me when you was smoking weed or drinking drinks with me, and we was all tricking and doing everything else 2 weeks ago. And now you want to be down here with a microphone down here in these good folks fellowship hall and praying and prophesizing over folks. That's why you got to know the word for yourself. So they can't nobody pull the wool over your eyes. But also too, if you're going to present that word, least be. I'm not saying you got to be baby like the good
Big
folks at
hat.
Kojic with a hat, and you got to be your skirt got to be down to your ankles, and you fully clothed up. But you not gonna be in here telling me about God, and you half naked, and all you got on is a suit coat.
Because that's all we saw. That's all I
That
saw.
ain't adding up. And then you gonna go lay hands on folk and you kneeling down. Man, we seeing your business.
People were saying like she's too new into the they feel like she's too new into her relationship with God to be able to do that. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that point because,
No.
when you called if you're called.
My grandma again, and I probably said this before on here. My grandmama always say some called, some sent, and some go. You, hey Tamia, you need to make it known. Again, your calling could be Sunday school.
Yeah.
Your calling may not necessarily be in the pulpit, but your calling could be Sunday school. Your calling could be in the women's ministry. Your calling could be in the kitchen. Your calling could be cleaning up. There's a lot of ministries that you could be in. Everybody doesn't need to be out there preaching in front of others because you need to learn what the word is and do your due diligence and study.
Yeah.
And so, why are you, again, presentation is everything. I mean, if I
Some
couldn't
people
go
would miss the whole message based on the presentation.
exactly, and people are going to judge you based off what you have on,
Yeah.
because we can't go to our jobs with our shorts on and our head bunted on, and
Baby, I
although
can't even go with no ripped jeans. And knowing that's what I had mostly in my closet. It's been a struggle.
can't even wear jeans to work where I'm at. Can't even wear it. I would love to go into my work with a good head scarf on. Why? Because I don't want to take this down in the middle in the morning time. I would love to put a good hat on, but no, I can't. Because in my profession, I got to look presentable. So I can't be going out here looking any kind of way. And I would want my pastor to not be looking any kind of way. Now, again, I'm not saying being fully clothed and got the armor. You want your
Yeah.
armor of God on, but be real. They
Yeah.
say go where the people are. If the people down there, baby, at the club, go down there where they at. But you're gonna
Okay.
treat them like they're human.
Yeah, like I said, I just don't appreciate how she's hey little mama, hey Tamia. Um, I just don't appreciate how I feel like she turned her back on her friends, not because they pressured, but because she was fearful that they would pressure her to do something. Because I
You know
low
your
key this,
friends.
I have been around my friends, and we used to have what's called a feel good Friday. And basically on Fridays we get together, bring some food, bring some drinks. We sitting up there drinking, playing cards, this, that, and the third. And I get into these bouts of I'm not drinking anything. But what I did is I actually brought some Welch's grape juice with me so I can pretend I can be like, well, I gotta pour something too, even though I'm not drinking. And none of my friends, even remotely, was like, I was like, yeah, I'm not drinking. And they was like, oh, okay. Nobody was really pressuring you to do that. And literally, the whole point of us getting this group getting together was to drink and eat. So I'm like, I don't appreciate the fact that she didn't give her friends the chance to do that. Like the chance to be like, I support you. Because if they support her through all this other foolishness, the plagiarism, alleged plagiarism, and all this stuff, why wouldn't they support you in your walk in your faith?
But how does she
And
not know? This is my thing. How do you not know they could be struggling with faith themselves?
mhm,
So how if they're your friends, and this is the thing, a lot of we have to be careful, I guess, who we call friends.
Of
A
course.
lot of people's are associates
Hmm.
or whatever. And so we have to be careful who we call friends and who we can trust. Because I know if I just met somebody down at the bar, I'm not going to let you buy me a drink and bring me one. No, I don't know you. I'm not going to trust you. So if I know, if I go out with coworkers, I'm only going out with you first because I feel like you're safe and comfortable, and I'm comfortable enough to go out with you. So I know you're not gonna do nothing to mess up our reputation or our jobs because we know where each other work at. So we have to be careful who we're calling friend or whatever. So I really think that she may have a problem with being friends with folks or not really knowing who her solid friends is because my friends, we all know each other.
Yeah.
We know we everybody got a friend that you know gonna be there for you through thick and thin. You may not talk to them all day,
Yeah.
every day, but you know they friends. You know
I
they your ride or die.
I think some of that is her guilt. I feel like maybe her friends, especially like I said, she's friends with Megan, which, you know, talks about her Christianity, ooh, whatever. I can't say that word right now. A lot. And, and I think that maybe she has tried to pressure them or pressure her to do something that's against what she was like, her convictions. And I think that's what it was to me. I honestly truly think that like she was projecting, maybe because maybe she has not accepted her friends when they wanted to be sober, or when they wanted to not smoke, or when they wanted to do
Mm.
something else, and too afraid that maybe that's why that they'll do that same thing to her. Now, my mama says this phrase, and I'm gonna say it. So, mama, I hope you're not mad that I say this phrase because I absolutely love it, and you said it the other day as well. Um, when you mentioned about people, doing whatever, you know, and all that stuff, my mama always say people did everything but die.
And
And
Trump did say a lot of folks died that ain't died before. So you know what? That's true. So you
and
know
and
what?
I and I like that because I'm like,
I
because
like
yeah,
that.
the people do judge. The people do judge and act like they don't have a past. The people do all of these things and then get on their little pedestal and pretend that they ain't never been broke. Especially some of these people, these celebrities, like, oh my goodness, you can't send me $50. You sending me $20 for lunch. Baby, where are you eating for lunch?
Cause $20, baby, I can make it stretch.
So I think a lot of people live
Again,
outside of their reality a lot of times,
right.
and wants to have a perceived notion of, wants people to perceive them in a way that just is not the reality of the situation. And I'm not faulting her for her walk. I'm not faulting her for any of these things. I'm only faulting her for her attire because I feel like that wasn't the time or the place to dress in the way that she wanted to dress like that. Now, if you up there trying to minister to people that's at the strip club, yeah, that's you game. But if you coming into the house of the Lord, I don't think you need to be dressed that way. And yo, listen, you can go to the strip club and minister. You can go to the streets. There's a lot of, like you said earlier, you can go to these places, but dress
Mm-hmm.
appropriately to these places. So I don't want nobody to be like, oh my goodness, they're acting like normal Christians and church people and they judging. I am judging her behavior toward her friends because I have friends
But
and
again,
I have a walk
but
with
that
faith
is,
my own self. But that's
and
all
we
I'm
all
saying.
do.
Exactly.
And we all do. And the thing is this is that nobody's perfect and
Mm-mm.
nobody walk with Jesus is perfect. But again, you have to, I feel like you have to be careful when you are teetering, when you're trying to bring others to Christ, or even if you're trying to trick people into Christ.
Not trick people into.
I mean, because again, if I was if I was new into the word, because again, nobody's perfect, but I'm not, and I know this. Let's just say this duo is not perfect by no means, but I do know that I cannot judge anybody out there for what they're, because no sin is greater than the next,
Exactly.
and therefore I can't judge you if you're still thotting and bopping and handstanding right now on the, hey, I'm happy for you. But let's just figure out another way we can do things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? If you're going to be out there and you're trying to convince people, you need to look a little bit better. You need to dress appropriately because, baby, what she was wearing, she could have wore that to happy hour, not down at the fellowship hall down there at Jesus Christ Saves Missionary Baptist Church. No, no, and we do know that there are some Christians that have totally forgot what they used to do back in the day before they found the Lord. Because trust and believe, there are plenty of Christians out there, baby, that could drink all of us under the table,
Okay.
that have stolen plenty of girlfriends, husbands, wives, whatever it is. They done did a whole bunch of stuff. It's a whole lot of folks that done schemed and did everything. However, there are some that get into they have found God and have totally, honey, their memory has been erased of what it is they want have done in the past, and now they want to judge folks when they forgot what they did. So you have to be careful in what you're doing and what you're presenting out there. So I would just want her to do just a little bit better
Yeah.
when she out there prophesizing and offering words of encouragement again. And I'm not saying it's not real, and
Oh
her
yeah, I'm
walk
definitely
could
not.
be
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I just know that there are people that when they have tried everything else there is to try, they go the religious route. Because what? There is money to be made in religion. That's just the bottom line. There's money to be made in religion. And if you can convince two people, you can convince you 5 or 10. And that number will grow. And then that will give you what you need. The revenue. So again, and at the end of the day, she has to give an
Yeah.
account to what it is, to what she's doing, and the word that she is spreading. But never forget those that were with you when you was starting and bopping and drinking and smoking and doing pleasure. Cause see, the people don't forget. And let's just say this, we can give credit to them because baby, there's some solid friends if they ain't ran out there and put her on blast for what
They
she
haven't,
used to do.
from my understanding. Yeah, from my understanding, they haven't. And like, don't get me
So,
wrong. I I know my mama. She never has worn pants to church, or
hmm,
anything like that. Baby, I have worn pants. I have wore tennis shoes. I I wore jeans. Uh,
hmm,
so I'm not of that mindset that like you gotta have the hat, your Sunday best, and all that. I'm not of that mindset at all. Like if you just got off to work and you wear coveralls, baby, come in with your coveralls because that's understanding. But if you had time, at least put some on your legs. Put some on your legs. You
and
know
again,
what I'm saying?
and that goes back again to, I remember when I was growing up and going to church. It was dress stockings. You will, if you were old enough to wear heels or whatever, it was, you went in, it was just like it was Easter Sunday. Every day you went to church. There was no, I don't recall wearing pants to church growing up. And it wasn't like we did wear it, but that wasn't part of my Sunday attire. As I've gotten older, now yes, I'm a little bit more relaxed. I do know how to dress up when time calls for. But again, times have changed from 20, 30 years ago in going to church. So yes, you have to, but I think again you have to be careful because I'm not going into the church, baby, with my cut off shorts on.
Mm-mm.
Now, would I probably go if it was a Wednesday night Bible study? Yeah, I probably go with a couple of slits in my jeans. But
Yeah.
again, it's jeans on and it's not shorts. So I just think that you got to do better.
Yeah.
If you're trying to help the people, do better.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Just do better.
And I also want to say, if people thought I was making like faces because Mila was talking, no, I realized that I have on my glasses that I drive in, not the glasses that I read computers and stuff in, used on the computer. And so my eye was looking real lazy. And so I was making them wide so they wouldn't look lazy. So that's what I did.
Shout out to the people that was noticing.
So
Shout
that's
out to
why
the
I was
people that
like,
sent messages.
so that's why I was occasionally doing like this. Because I feel like my eyes was looking lazy. Like they were looking like they were, yeah, real lazy. Um, yeah, just wanted to just wanted to say that for the people. My mama probably gonna text me and be like, "Yeah, your eye was looking lazy," because my mama's a
A
hater.
mess.
A hater.
A mess.
I prefer to call her a hater. I love you, mommy. I love my little hater. Speaking of hate, apparently Remy and Clarissa, they don't really have the best relationship. But this is my thing about Clarissa. Why is you telling this woman all of this stuff and saying what you know about her husband, and you known him for 8 months and she known him for almost 20 years? And also, why are you in a business about this whole divorce situation when he literally just filed? If y'all are so in love and working on a family and all of this big stuff, then why didn't you tell him to go ahead and, sign them other papers that she had out for mediation, divorce mediation, um, or tell him to file sooner? Clearly, something is amiss.
You know what I want them to do?
Take you out the group chat.
Baby, let me tell you. We have a lot going on in the world of entertainment. And this little lovers quarrel spat, you with my man, I had him first. I've known him this, baby. Remove us from this group chat because I guarantee you in the next, by the end of the year, that girl and Papoose gonna be over and done, baby. I'm just gonna say this. And you know what Sister Remy Ma gonna be? Going on. Her and that cute little girl reminisces, whatever her name is, they're gonna be two sheets in the wind, baby, down there on the beach. Sometimes. I mean, because this is the thing here. You got him, but he married. He ain't officially divorced. So the same way you got him, baby, somebody else gonna swoop in and get him too. Now you may be a boxer, but baby, somebody else gonna be able to get him. Remy is a shooter, baby. She done shot her home girl and spent time in jail. So
So why are you even trying to have an argument with this girl talking about I see you, baby? You don't want to see her.
you don't want to see her. Let me tell you,
See, wait,
that
hold
girl
on,
done.
hold on. I told you my mama a whole hater. She said you also look like you have a black eye. See, this is what I'm saying.
You know what, Mama? We're gonna take that conversation offline. Let the good people get through right now, And we gonna let you discuss that black eye you see your daughter with. Yeah. But let's just say this. Remy Ma shot her homegirl who she thought stole money for and spent time in jail. Sister Clarissa, whatever your name is, you got you about 5 good belts, baby. We know you're a fighter. That's fine. Papoose is a lot older than you, baby. Right now, you're young, you're winning,
And
and you got you some.
them hissing them knocks is not gonna stop no bullet, baby. They're not gonna stop a bullet.
That part. So
And
let's just say
hopefully
this.
Remy done changed her life. And
You know what?
yeah,
I believe
hopefully she
she
has changed
has.
her life. And then this is also the thing. A lot of times now, one thing I do, I said this on my threads. I do not appreciate her calling Clarissa Clarence. I don't appreciate that. That's where I draw the line. Like, I can respect Remy, but I don't appreciate it. And then somebody posted or said she posted a picture and said that she looked like this guy or whatever. And I don't even know, because I thought the pictures were the same person. I don't know any better. I don't even know who they're talking about. She was supposed to look like. But I don't like that because I feel like black women especially get called like, I feel like this when people want to be negative or
Me,
derogatory, mean or whatever to black women, they always be like, "Ooh, you're trans, you're a man, you this." Like, it's always some kind of masculine thing that they're trying to put on a woman, and I don't appreciate that. And especially, I don't appreciate that. Me being neutral black, I don't appreciate them doing it to darker women, to darker
I
black
get
women.
y'all that.
I don't appreciate that at all because I feel like there's a lot of, even though Remy is, brown as well, I just feel it's a little colorist to me and I don't really like it.
Well, I agree with all that you're saying. The thing is, they're a little hurt. They're a little touched. I don't even know if Rem is hurt. I think this is all just petty women stuff. I took your man. I got your man. I'm better. I'm XYZ. And I think that's all that is. But you can take us out the group chat and just go on and sign them divorce papers, Remy. Go on and lean back. Enjoy whoever you with. Take baby girl to Disney World. Papoose, keep holding up them hands while she, boxing, what they call it, sparring or whatever.
Sparring.
Keep doing that. Keep doing that. And I just hope you all make it to the end of the year. But we don't want to be part of this group chat. We got too much going on. We got Diddy Bob.
Mm-hmm.
We got
The Chrisleys
Todd.
being pardoned.
Huh?
The Chrisleys being pardoned.
Baby, Todd and Julie Chrisley coming home tomorrow. We got too much right now. I got to see what Todd looking like when he get out. And I used to
Are
love
they
them
still here?
Christmas.
Are they
Huh?
still going to be here?
Probably so. Baby girl Savannah said she got to get them some clothes.
Nobody
Got to
look
get,
at my face right now.
huh?
Nobody look at my face right now.
Let me tell you.
Because that was the most annoying video I have watched in a long time.
Let me tell you something. And we'll probably end this good episode on this note here. You know what? And I used to, but you couldn't tell me nothing bad about them Christmas. I love them. And I probably really still love Nanny Faye because I don't even know what her political stance is, but I'm just going to roll the dice and say, hey, she'll the 45 and 47. Uh, it goes to show if you donate just a little taint of money to the cause, your parents can be free too. if they are of the Caucasian persuasion. So you know what? May the Lord cover and protect them as they travel from their prospective destinations of jail,
Prison.
prison. One is in Kentucky. One they say is down there in Florida.
Mm.
We pray that they have safe travels from once they come where they coming from. Uh, but it goes to show, baby, that slate is wiped clean. They ain't got to pay nobody back. They ain't got to do
Wait,
nothing.
do they? They don't still have a fine
When you
when you get
pardon, I
pardoned.
think
You don't have to pay
when
a fine.
when you pardon, I think that takes care of all that because I think I just read where another lady, son, somebody down there in Florida, had made like $1 million contribution or something, and her son just got pardoned for something, and he was supposed to spend some time in jail and pay restitution. So
This
I
is
am.
very,
I, let me tell you something. We are
I had to
not of
close my
that tax.
eyes.
We are not of that tax bracket. I don't know if I ever will be, but although I do serve a good God,
Okay.
and baby, one day I could have the coinage, uh, to you know, I don't know. Maybe have Sister Jasmine Crockett as my attorney. I don't know. Uh, but the Chrisleys is coming home. Baby, as the people say, free Christmas, baby, to the Christmas is free, baby. Done said it backwards, baby, and they's free. That done spent 2, 3 years, about 2 years, maybe a good
I thought
solid
you said
2 years.
this thing all wrong.
Is it? Free
It's
to
free
Christmas,
Christmas.
baby. The
Yeah.
Christmas is what? Free. Got
Yeah.
to say it till they say it's backwards,
Yeah.
baby.
Free Chrisley until it's backwards.
And the Christmas is free.
Yeah. So that means Christy free. Chrisley free.
Christmas free.
Yeah.
But because we got to add Todd and Julie. And you know what? They coming home. Now, would we ever and this goes to show again, when your money can kind of take you places where it probably has never taken you or get you out of places that you don't want to go back to. It leads me to believe that could the same thing happen to Daddy Bob? Could
That's
he
what a
get
lot of people are
pardoned?
saying. A lot of people are saying that, they're friends and if he's found, he's probably more than likely gonna be pardoned.
So, I mean, the justice system, the judicial system, as the people call it works for you if you have the money and you have ties and you have the connections, and if you donate enough money. So,
See, that's why I'm
and
like, I don't want to like. That's why right now I don't necessarily want to go to a different country or anything because it's unless I know that it's because the way this administration be acting. Whew. And then I know that if it came down to me and somebody else, they gonna make me stay because they gonna be like, you don't need like me, and you will be right.
that's why it's safe to stay within the confines of the United States of America.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You need to be somewhere where it may either take you one day to get home or maybe 7 days to get home, whether you're on the east or the west coast. We just won't, at this point in time, and I think we discussed this last week because, baby, I know my folks ain't getting me out of jail overseas. So,
You said they ain't getting you out locally, so they're definitely not getting you out overseas. Not to mention, did you ever learn any telephone numbers besides the
nope.
one person
Not at
telephone number?
all. Not at all. And what I'm gonna have to start doing, baby, is keeping it on the sticky notepad in my purse or somewhere. Uh, because again, and I try not to get caught up in shit that's gonna have me have to figure out who I'm gonna call to get me out and who gonna answer the phone. So again, you know what? Shout out, baby, to the good Chrisley, Julie, and Todd. Y'all is free. Y'all president did y'all a solid, and y'all are home. And you know what? And I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen next. They're gonna be on TV, and this whole thing here, because I guarantee you, there's a camera crew right now sitting up.
Of course, getting the
And
first
I'm
reaction of them leaving.
and I'm gonna tell you who and who channel is gonna be on
The
the
Lifetime
Good
channel.
Lifetime.
Hmm.
Baby, Lifetime already right now got a camera crew ready, locked and loaded, baby, in the car like the storm chasers, baby. And they heading to the prospect. One is heading to Kentucky, one is down there in Florida, baby. And they recording as we speak right now to get them out of jail. So you know what? All that commissary money they got, baby, spread it out to the people you that kind of kept you uh safe. But it's gonna be on Lifetime. We in what? We going into June.
Yeah.
By August, September, it'll be on TV.
Spring, summer.
Spring, summer, fall.
Joggers.
Summer, fall. It is going to be on TV. Will we watch it? Of course, because that's just
I didn't really watch them like that.
I loved them. I was a big Nanny Faye. I loved me some Nanny Faye.
Did she pass away?
No, girl, I
Oh,
hope not.
my bad, my bad, my bad, my
Oh
bad.
my God, girl, no, I think Nanny's still living. I hope
Okay.
so. Ooh, blessed be the fruit. But I'll watch it. Why? Because it's them. Just to kind of see what they gonna do.
Yeah.
So you know what? Shout out to them. That's my shout out. Shout out for making the system work for you.
That's what I was about to ask you. Was that your shout out? I was like,
That's my shout out.
you didn't even let me do a drum roll.
We don't need now.
Get you.
Because that ain't drum work.
I've been practicing my drum rolls and everything.
That
I
ain't.
do it a lot better than I did the first time I did them because
Let me tell you
I was
that
practice.
that drum roll is save that baby for something else. We are you know what? We happy for the family. Everybody get to reunite, go to therapy like you should, hopefully. And don't be down there Mar-a-Lago partying all of that jazz, which we know y'all will. But hey, high five.
Let me ask you this question: if you committed a crime, I know we got
Mm-hmm.
the show, but let me just ask this question: if you committed a crime and federal crime, because that's the only ones that you know the president can pardon, because they can't pardon the state crimes. Would you petition the current administration to try to get out? Like, would your views change if you know that that's the only way for you to get out?
Hmm.
Or not necessarily your views change, like necessarily like would you be more favorable in your, I guess, rhetoric? Because I like to think that I was staying on business, but I also don't like prison. Like the thought of prison is like
I mean, and
not for
I,
me.
I don't either. Um, but I think I would be just a small fish in that big pond where he wouldn't really get me out. I don't think my family has the connections that will benefit the current administration to get me out.
I feel you.
I don't think we don't have any of the connections. We can't. I mean, baby, we good wholesome people, and we solid, but we can't make no calls to nobody over there in Qatar. We don't know nobody over there. We don't know no. We don't even know nobody over there in South Africa. I don't know anybody in Haiti. I can't help you. I can't help further his plan. Nor can my family. Now, let's just say this. I know of my uncle and auntie and Carissa. I kind of know who they know. So I know we don't know nobody that the current administration would be like, yeah, let me sign her on out. Let me get her out. No.
I
In
almost,
other words, I'll be stuck.
I almost said something. Then my mama, I know my mama would get mad at me for saying it, and so I'm just gonna leave that alone.
What do you think will happen if you? Do
I
you think
don't.
they get you out?
I would like to think that I stand on. I was stand on business. Like I said, I don't also don't want to wouldn't want to be in jail or prison or anything like that. But like I could say thank you if like I'm just saying.
All you got is a thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you go to the White House and say thank you, or would you just say thank you over the phone?
Mm, I've never been inside the White House, so if I had to go as part of my agreement,
So that's a no. Yeah, think too much on it. So
I would
that
like to,
means
like I said, I would like to think that I would stand on business. I could, anytime anybody does anything for me, I am grateful. So let me just say that. You know, so with that being said, I could say thank you. I know I can say that. The likelihood of it happening probably slim to none. But all I have to say is that like I think
so that'd be a no. So in other words, we will be hopefully the Lord say the same. We're gonna continue to remain jail free because
exactly.
we have one.
I got better chances of Governor Lee allowing me to get a pardon.
Baby, I got a better chance of the mayor getting me out than
Well,
Bill Lee.
they trying to investigate him right now, so
But at this point, I have a better chance of the mayor getting me out than the governor or the president.
and let me just say this. I pray to the good Lord that we're never even in a position
Amen.
that would even ever happen. So we wouldn't even have to need a pardon because we're not going because we don't commit crimes or anything like that of that nature. And the good
Mm-mm.
Lord watches over us and protect us.
Amen.
He protects babies and foods, and I'm okay. I'm okay
I'm okay with that.
with being a
But I'm okay
baby.
with that. I am. Oh, baby, I'm okay with being the food right now because I'm not a baby, but I'm okay with being what the food. Therefore, I knew I have a better chance of the mayor of Nashville getting me boogered up out of something than the governor and the president. Therefore, I you know what? I'm just gonna continue to stay on the straight and narrow as much as I possibly can, where I don't have to end up in those situations. Because again, we ain't got no money,
We ain't got no connections like that.
baby, and we
And,
ain't got no
and
connect.
nobody
We
knows have a certain set of skills like
uh-uh,
Liam Neeson either in Taken.
uh-uh.
We ain't got
Let
no
me
set
tell
of
you,
skills that's just gonna be beneficial.
we may we may have the gift of gab, and if we see somebody out in public, we making finagle our way, baby, into another section at the club. We may be able to finagle our way maybe backstage because why? We got the gift of gab. But baby, that's far as it's going. Us getting up out of prison? Mm-mm. No. Ain't gonna happen. Mm-mm.
But
Mm-mm.
we're not going, so
Not at
we
all.
never have to worry about that.
If the Lord says the same, cover us and protect us, Lord. Because like they say, what do you look out for? Old folks, babies, and what?
Fools.
And I would be, I'm glad to be the fool today.
Now, for some reason, I feel like with this episode, I feel like we should be like, "May the Lord watch between me and thee." We are not right.
We love you, Lord.
Pray sanctified and with the Holy Ghost.
Woo woo!
But anyway, of episode number 25, Real Life is Friends podcast. This is one of your hosts, Kimberly.
And I am who? Mila.
And peace up, A Town.
We are nowhere near A Town, but peace up.